You mentioned tap, and I had to run and grab a beer.
Absolutely, dude. You're just gonna leave me hanging again. Again.
Again, you do it one time, they never forget.
No. 100%. Get out of there with those Diet Cokes.
Hey, Pepsi Zero, come on, get it right.
I have one of my best friend doesn't drink at all, and anytime we go on, also doesn't drink coffee. So like whenever we go on like a road trip, or like we had like a bachelor party and we went up to somewhere in New Hampshire, or like we go down to the Cape, I'll hit Dunkin' Donuts, we'll go to the gas station, and he'll get a Diet Pepsi or like a Diet Coke, and he like that's his morning beverage, like a 9
That's
a.m.
unhinged.
dude, a 9 a.m. DC.
DC at 9
A draft DC at 9 a.m., dude.
Oh my God.
Barbaric. Johnny, if you're watching this, I love you, and you know I love you. I'll never be able to get over it. Marco, thank you for the resub. However, I'm gonna have to decommission you from the website because you posted that a tomato with salt and pepper on it is just as good as a steak. So get the fuck out of here with that shit. I'm gonna need you to issue a formal written apology, and you're on my shit list for that one. That is insane. You and I both know that that's not true.
That's
You are
a statement.
You are on thin ice, mister. Thin ice, dude. Okay, hold on one sec. So let me just. Every time I go live, it fucking just automatically sets the title. Oh, it's probably because of Restream. So what other events have you been doing lately, Dandro? You had the COD one today, right? It was a COD one today?
Yep. Yeah, it was a COD one today. So this was the 75,000 Sadie Hawkins event. So it's pretty cool where all of the captain invites were women, and then they get to invite their duo, who has to be a man.
Okay.
So that was pretty dope. Similar to if you guys are familiar with the Reliant K song, Sadie Hawkins.
Yeah. Yep.
So yeah, so it was that. Before that, I did a Rocket League thing with Steel Series, which was like a show match with M80 and Space Station Gaming, which was super cool because they were like, just like they both had like big roster changes. This was the first time that anybody's ever seen them like go against each other, so that was pretty cool.
That's cool.
Yeah, and then tons of stuff. And then I did like right before that I did it was actually kind of sick. Did a Valorant event for like the finals of the collegiate esports, the esports collegiate sort of like conference.
Yeah.
And so they were in LAN at Michigan State. So they were all there, and then me and my buddy were basically remotely casting their LAN, but like we were being pumped into the gym they were in. So it was like kind of sick.
Wow.
So yeah, so it was like kind of cool. It was like last minute, which is why we got like picked up, but it was like kind of cool because people were like they were like tweeting that like they could hear us like in the gym, and they're like, it's like these guys are right here, and like
That's
they're making
awesome.
it so like crazy, and I'm like, that's sick.
That is awesome. That must be sick, especially to get something like that and just know that you are right then and there in the moment, getting people so fucking fired up. Like
yeah.
that just must like just put that much extra gas in your tank when you like can see that happening. Like that's fucking amazing.
Yeah, I mean it's a little kind of part of like why you do it, type
Right.
thing,
Oh, totally.
to be honest with you.
Totally. How long have you been? I mean, we'll get into it. We'll talk to you a little bit on the show too. But how long have you been kind of in the game here? Like, has it been a couple of years, or are you just kind of starting out?
Yeah, I would probably say like 2019 is I think the year I would say like I like started or like was like more pseudo professional, I guess you would say. But I've kind of been loosely doing it off and on since like 2013, 2014, something like that.
Yep.
So. It's been a while. I just like have loved esports forever, and just am somebody who knows how to communicate and loves to talk. And when you combine those two, it's just like this is like the one job you get to do. So I was like, all right, like, cool.
I mean, hey, listen, man, I got nothing but respect for the showcasing game. It is definitely you just yell into online, and it's you get people hyped up, and you get the people going, and like I said, I mean, if it wasn't for, obviously, I mean, esports is special as it is, but like the commentary is there to like especially for people who don't understand what they're watching, they can get excited. Even like when I watch like soccer, like I like to watch soccer, but I don't really know what the fuck I'm doing.
Yeah.
I don't know what I'm looking at. But, I hear Andreas Cantor, delivering some electrifying commentary in a language I don't even speak. And, it's just that much better. But, all right, I'm going to kick this off here. Oh, let me tweet it out that we're live. Hold on. We are live right now. You fucking nerds, get in here. Dandro does not like Canadian people. We are live with enemy to all Canadians, Dandro casts. Please bring your torches, pitchforks, and poutine, you filthy
No, if they bring
Canucks.
puts in, I'm okay. If they bring puts in, they're cool.
That's how we trick them here. That's how we trick them.
Mm-hmm.
Wicked good gaming, dude. Oh, Bob, it looks like you're in the chat on the WGG account. Dandro is from Saco. How many times have you drunkenly fallen into the Saco River? He's gonna be like, dude, I tore my ACL at the Saco River. I'm just waiting for the paragraph right now. Leave me a voicemail. 0, I am responsible. No. Yeah, all right. I'm not gonna yell because my child is sleeping. But I probably should just shut my door. But then Miller can't get in. Then he gets sad and he whines at the door. All right, I'm just gonna leave it. You definitely have fallen into the river drunkenly. I know you. I know you too well. Did I just hear him yelling? Nope, that kid is snoozing because Daddy read him a couple of books and he's fucking out like a light. Let's go. Frog and Toad. You guys don't know about Frog and Toad. This classic literature right there. Who up? Smash that motherfucking Frog and Toad button. All right. On this episode of Not Another Gaming Podcast, we are going to be talking about a whole lot of beautiful, juicy esports news. The finals is not going to feature an esports component whatsoever, as far as we know. HCS revamps are coming soon, which means it's officially Halo's year. We're also going to be talking about Boston Breach main staging their challenges finals, and we have some Q&A with Dandro, pro caster extraordinaire, all that and more. So buckle yourselves in, keep your arms and legs inside the podcast at all times, because we're going live with episode 370 of Not Another Gaming Podcast. Let's go.
You ever had Sebago Slick Nick? That's my favorite. Sebago Slick Nick.
Yo, welcome back to Not Another Gaming Podcast. It's your boy, Papa Dom. We're back live, direct, and handsome. And it's episode 370. It is another Thursday, a Friday Junior, a Friday Eve, if you will. First podcast episode of 2024. Big time. We're here. The ball has dropped. Ryan Seacrest is off the stage. You know, people were flossing in the middle of Times Square just like they always do. And, you know, we're here. We're here. We're another year older and wiser. And, you know, the purple lights are back. I'm taking the Christmas decorations down. There's a couple of them still over here, as you can see. There's a Miller's Candy Cane toy is literally right there. You know, so I'm doing the best I can, but just get off me, all right? Everybody in the chat, hope that you're doing well. Marco, thanks for the resub. I see the Q's in here. Bob, I know you're lurking from the WGG account. I hope that you have some, you have some hauls and some, you know, what are the other things? Ricolas to make your throat feel better. My little schmoopy boy. I'll bring you some flowers and chocolates if you want. But we're here. We're back. And of course, I've got one of my typical co-hosts. He is. You need to make sure that you remove your caps and stand the fuck up when you talk to him because he's active duty military, MLB insider, FaZe Clan minority shareholder, League of Legends bronze phenom, Tiggy Nation. How are you, sir?
Come on. I mean, that was fantastic. I mean, it was like I was a guest again. You know what? I think we bring those back in the 2024 year.
Oh, I'm bringing it back.
I'm feeling good. I'm feeling great. I was devastated I couldn't be here last week. Had some other things come up. Happy to be here. incredible to be here sharing
Yeah.
this new year. But we're done with the Happy New Year. 3 days, it's
3
over.
days, yeah.
Day 4,
Yep.
we're not Happy New Year anymore.
No.
Larry David said it
Yep.
best. It's
Statute of
over.
limitations is gone.
It's up. But I'm happy to be here. Happy to chop it up with Dan Joe. It's going to be an incredible episode.
It's going to be great. It's going to be great. And of course, we've already invoked his name twice, but freelance, multi-FPS, collegiate and pro esports host and flex commentator, not to mention a man from Maine, Mr. Dandro, a.k.a. Dandro Cass. What is going on, sir? How are you?
I am good. I'm just coming off of let me see when we started. I started at 2, so like 5 or 6 hours of casting, and literally while I was casting, you hit me up and I said, let's run it. Let's go. I'm riding the energy. I'm riding the train. I'm excited to be here. I actually like all the topics we're talking about tonight. So any chance I get to talk about some gaming with some boys, I'm about it.
That's it. We're cracking a couple cold ones. We're talking about some games online with the boys, just like we always do every Friday Junior, every Friday Eve. But before we do that, we're going to get into a little weekend recap.
Damn, son, where'd you find this?
So, Dandro, I know I was telling you about this before, but the segment is exactly what it sounds like. We just talk about, and don't mind me, I have like 3 monitors here, so if you see me not looking at the camera, it's because I'm looking at you on this one, because that's where the chat is. So, and Q, thank you for telling me that it was episode 170 or 170 in the description, not 370. I changed it. This week has been insane, and so I got like 3 brain cells to rub together at this point. So, thank you for correcting me, ProMod Q. But and for anybody that's new that's in the chat tonight, don't act up or Q is going to ban you. Is going to time you out for 3 years. So just he's got a 0 warning. He doesn't fire any warning shots. You just see this person has been muted for 600 days, and it's a wrap. We never see you again. So I'm just going to keep it short and sweet because my weekend was probably the least interesting. For the 3rd consecutive year, we did not get a chance to celebrate New Year's. 2 years ago, my wife had COVID. Last year, I had stomach bug. I'm sorry, I had food poisoning. And this year, my son had a stomach bug. So, wow. We're on a 3-year hot streak. I'm really looking forward next year to like Miller eating like a bar of chocolate or something. And like we have to take him to the vet or something. I don't even know. Or maybe he just gets raging diarrhea everywhere. Like something's going to happen with somebody in this household. It's Miller's turn. So he's going to like break a nail is what's going to happen. And he's going to be bleeding everywhere like 5 minutes before we go out is what's going to happen. He's actually done that before and it's gross, but he's going to be fine. He's a baby, but he's here somewhere. But I have been playing a lot of Starfield. I've been very down on Starfield. You guys have listened to the show. You know that I have not been this has not been a pro Starfield podcast for a very long time. I've gone through a lot of trials and tribulations. I am happy to report that thanks to some driver updates, Starfield finally runs on my PC, which I bought 6 months ago, so it should have run from launch day. Just so you know, it's not an old PC. There's a lot of trials and tribulations in there. So I've been playing it. I had actually like tweeted out earlier this week. I was like, man, the space combat in Starfield sucks. Like, I don't know how anybody enjoys playing this game. Since then, I've put in like 35 hours into the game. I've just been no-lifing it. My wife's like, I'm going to bed early. I'm tired. I'm like, great. Leave me here to die. Leave me here to rot. I'll be here when you get up in the morning. No-lifing it, like you read about. So it's hooked me, and sadly, I can't stop. So, and also I've had to work from home a little extra this week because the baby's sick. So that means Starfield. So here we are. Tiggy, how was your New Year? Did you do anything fun? Is there any fireworks on base? Or are those like not allowed? Like what's up?
So it's tough to buy fireworks out here in Arizona. Luckily, I was over east, West Virginia, Ohio, visiting family, spending with some loved ones. So it was a great time back east. There was one of the days, it may have been Christmas morning. It was actually colder in Arizona than it was in the East Coast, and that was bizarre. So that was good. Everything was good. A lot of family, a lot of friends, incredible amounts of food. Naturally, I think I've gained 10 pounds over the week and a half, which has been, it's great when you're consuming, and now you're sitting in the aftermath, and it's like puppy. It's kind of tough to stand up sometimes. Yeah. So, that's a little much. What I've been playing, at first, I really am getting intrigued to play old school RuneScape again, but I want to play it. I want to play it in the 07 way, And what that is I'm just not going to use the Grand Exchange. And
Okay.
I'm going to have to be typing in the West Barak Bank, like selling lobsters for 90 each and see if anyone will fucking buy them. So I figured that'd be like a fun social experiment to see if I can actually progress at all.
Yeah.
So we'll see. I think that'd be kind of funny. So I'm getting intrigued for that, but I am heavily playing strictly like solo duo League of Legends. And I'm bronze 3, 58 LP right now.
Yeah.
I've been to silver before.
Yeah.
And I know I can get there. The thing is, there's 5 days.
Right.
I could easily, call out sick tomorrow or stay up late on Saturday.
We
I
won't-
can get it all done in one day. I mean, it's
We
like
won't
7
tell.
wins. I could do it, but
Yeah.
what's the fun in that to do it all in one day?
No.
There's no anticipation. I mean, there's no climb to that. There's no big moments.
Yeah, no.
And we're going to try to make it close. Like Dr. D says, it's not about winning. It's about looking good when you're doing it. So
That's right.
5 days. I got to get to silver. I got to get these silver rewards. And I am just spamming Zyra in the support.
Yeah.
And it's getting dangerous. So
Okay.
that's my goal. January 9th, I will be silver 4.
I believe it. You quote it, clip it, do whatever you got to do. January 9th, he's back. He's back in silver. Silver is officially on notice as of this
Silver
moment.
Surfer.
The
Silver
silver,
Surfer Tiggy.
the Silver Surfer. It's not. Zamph in the chat said it's not about winning when you get an S+ in your losses.
That is true. Zyra got banned. Had to bring out the Jaime.
You had to do it to
for
him.
a game.
You had to do it to him.
Most damage in the game. S+. We lost horrifically. I couldn't believe what was going on.
You had to do it to him.
I played League for like a year and a half. I
Yeah.
should not be the one in any sort of case.
You were hard
carrying.
carrying. You were backpacking.
I was. It was tough. I was climbing Mount Katahdin out in Maine. It was fucking brutal. And then
That is
end of the
brutal.
Appalachian. Come on.
Listen, I mean, you you didn't. They forced your hand. They didn't. You didn't want to bring Jaime out. You're there to be a team player. You didn't want to have to backpack. It's not Tiggy Bright Lights. I mean, I've seen the way you move, and I know you try to share the stage whenever you can. But I mean, you had to do it to them. They put you in that position, and I mean, what are you supposed to do?
I even always give it up to my team, and I'm like, hey, these are the champs I can possibly play. Let me know. And they always say, whatever you're best at. I don't know if you really want that because Jaime's coming out.
Right.
And then it's chaos.
Don't.
So,
Yeah. Let's not say things that we can't take back. Once you take it out of the box, you can't put me back in. Right. So no, I totally get that. Hello, Steve. Steve said, "Howdy, gamers." Dandro, how was your weekend? Did you take any beverages for a ride? How was the New Year's? Have you played any video games lately? What's been happening?
Yeah. So let's see. Last week I got back from my parents' house and basically literally did nothing for
Love
a
that.
week, which is great. Played a lot of Warzone, played a lot of the finals.
Okay.
With some homies and played a little bit. I've been diving back into similar to the old school RuneScape. The Season of Discovery Classic WoW.
Okay.
Kind
Love
of
that.
hooked me back in a little bit. So I very lightly have been playing that, So
It's a
I've been
slippery
trying to-
slope.
Actually it really is. So it's like there are times where I just want to I want to play a game, but like I'm so all the time just like 300% just like all out shooter brain that I'm like I just want to like play something but like not care about it. And so that's kind of like where I'm at. So that's that game for those moments and it's good. So I think it was pretty good. My New Year's, I had a couple of my friend and his wife over, had some drinks. I made a little ghetto charcuterie board, which was great.
Love that.
Went out to dinner, rang in the New Year, shotgun to Gansett, came back, had a cigar, went to sleep.
Love that.
It was great.
It's an extremely Maine New Year. I love that. That's
Really
I
is.
love that. And I mean, I respect the you referring to WoW Classic as like that's like your downshift game. That you're like, oh, I'm like very shooter brain. Like I want to play something that I can kind of just like chill, whatever. That's like me being like, I haven't been out with the boys for a little bit. I'm gonna go out on Friday, have a couple beers. Like I'll be home early. And then it's like somebody's like, do you want a shot of Jameson? And I'm like, I guess I can
Not
Uber
that I
home.
don't want to.
I guess I can Uber home at 3 a.m. So, yeah. Oh, I also speaking of, because Tiggy, you just put I watched Make Love Not Warcraft on the plane. I've been playing South Park Stick of Truth still, and it's hysterical. It's like just so fucking funny. having a great time with that. But no, I totally get where you're coming from. I resubbed to WoW. I mean, I'm on the retail train. They had a holiday sale that was like all character services are like 50% off. So it was like, oh, it's like $7 to character transfer. So I've been transferring, renaming, fucking race changing, everything just for no reason, just to spend money because I'm an idiot. So the flight attendant had to tell me to sit down when the Sword of a Thousand Truth came out.
It was an epic moment.
It is. It really is.
I wonder, that has to be like a top 5 episode of all time of South Park.
Oh,
It's top 3.
I don't know if you guys know, but like that episode was literally responsible for basically them coming up with like their technology of sharding that they did for like retail WoW, and then eventually what led into like classic WoW.
Really?
Because they had never done like a private server before for WoW. So they had to figure out like, how do we give these guys their own little server to like play around on? Because, you know, obviously they weren't going to do that on like live servers, right?
Right.
And so they had to like figure out that technology to do that. But in doing so, they realized how they could do the whole like sharding thing where like you do kind of like you phase in and out of it. It's super cool.
Wow.
Like there's a like a documentary I think on like that episode particularly. And it's like pretty crazy.
That's pretty unreal. I didn't know that. They're just dropping some gems on the pod. You've been on the podcast for 14 minutes. 25 seconds, already dropping gems, dude. I love it. So let's talk about you a little bit, Dandro. So for the people at home that don't know you, pro esports commentator, you were telling me before that you've done some collegiate stuff as well. How'd you first get into the commentary game? I feel like a lot of people, including myself, like will refer to it as shoutcasting, but I feel like commentary is now the more common, which is deservedly so. Like it's not just an esports thing. It's because I feel like shoutcasting is an esports only term, but really, I mean, commentary is commentary. So
Yeah.
how'd you get your start, and what are some of your favorite games to shoutcast or commentate?
So it's like a multi-phase thing, like how I got into it. So when I first started, the first game I ever really like super got hooked on and got into was a game called Dota 1, okay, which was a custom map for Warcraft 3 back in the day. And there was a website called Join Dota where you could download pro replays. And so I had a friend in high school who, none of this exists anymore, but basically we were like, we're going to download these pro replays because we thought we were so good and that we were going to talk over these replays and like talk about like why the things that they did made sense, which was like kind of cool because we were like, I'd find like 2 Chinese teams, right? So it's like nobody I knew, but it was like, all right, let's break it down. It was kind of like a way that I could like get better at the game.
Okay.
That never came to fruition because I had like a torrented version of Sony Vegas and I couldn't figure out how to get it to work.
That's how we all got to start. That's how we all got to start.
Right? And so like I didn't do anything else. So but fast forward, I actually got like I played League of Legends for a very long time, since like beta up until like many seasons in. But when I was in college, I had a friend who was like starting an esports org, and so he was running tournaments, like league tournaments, and he's like, hey, you know a lot about league and like you don't suck at talking, like do you want to like basically cast these? Now at this time, this is kind of like through the first couple seasons of like actual League of Legends esports, and so and I had watched Dota esports forever, so like I got an idea of like what it should be and like what it sounds like and stuff. And so I did a little bit of that, but it was like, yet again, still very amateur.
Yep.
But like I consider my like big break was I was literally making chili one night.
Hell yeah.
And I'm scrolling Twitter, and this is when like on Twitter, like if one of your friends liked a tweet, it would show you on the timeline, right? Sure. So even if you didn't follow that person, you'd still see it. And so I saw it. Someone was like, hey, need a last minute co-caster for this Fortnite event. My guy he has a family emergency. So I was like, fuck it. I responded and I was like, hey man, like, you know, I'm down. Like I've done, like, these are the couple things that I've done. And he like messaged me. He's like, do you have a good camera? And do you have a good mic? And I was like, yeah, man, like I have a DSLR camera. Like I have a good mic. And he's like, all right, sick, you're in. I was like, all right, cool. So they originally brought me in as just like they're like, you know, just basically kind of help fill the void a little bit, you know, like you don't have to do the casting bit, like just fill the silence. And I was like, all right. So I just was a meme machine. That's all I was. Like,
love that.
You know, like I'm just getting hype. You know, this guy's like hitting one-shot snipes in Fortnite, and I'm like freaking out. It was like a 2v2 kill race type thing, and I was like, all right, sick. Well, I did that, and then the guy, like one of the guys who's in charge of that, this is for like an esports group, and they were running these like $1,000 2v2 like Fortnite things every week, and they were like, yo, you were really good. Do you want to be on this like more? And I was like, hell yeah, I do. Like, this is sick, right? So literally that evolved into then me working with this company called MetaThreads, who back in the day, and they were doing this thing called Monday Night Meta, which is like every Monday was like a different game that was just like we were running tournaments for. Okay. So I did NHL, Rocket League, COD, Marbles on Stream. Like we were just doing anything and ever. We did Worms Reloaded. I don't know if you guys remember. Like, that was the Worms Battle Royale and shit. Like we were doing just any game that we can make competitive. Like we were doing it. And that was just basically, and then we kind of like leaned into Warzone a lot more out of that. And because of that, we like, you know, they basically, it was like, I was kind of tangentially created with like a production company. So as this production company got to do more, I just started getting hired all the time with them. And so we like did this thing called CLX Uprise. And that was like the first thing that like skyrocketed me, because it was like this free to enter weekly 2v2 Warzone thing. Yeah. And it was like we were giving away $1,000 a week, I think is like what it was or something, right? So we just had, we'd have like, you'd see the challenge would be like 300 teams every week of just free to play people just trying to grind. And I just like got to know a lot of like the top competitors. Like a lot of the top competitors now were like birthed out of that tournament series.
That's crazy.
Which is like insane, right? So that's like basically how I got my start, was just like kind of through random games and just being able to commentate literally anything that like you could throw at me. And then eventually just like kind of landed in Warzone being like a thing.
So if I pulled up like a random video, would you think like if we just like put you on the spot, you just shoutcast it? Easily. All right, I'm gonna work 300%. On. I'm gonna work on that while Tiki asks you questions. But I think I gotta put you on the spot now. I think I gotta give you.
Do it. I love that shit.
All right, Tiki, you take the mic for a second.
Yeah, so I just want to. I got one quick question. I mean, obviously, I have more questions, but you mentioned you commentated NHL. Was that like 1-on-1, or was it the full team, like EASHL, or?
It was. I forget what it was. I think it was like twos. I think, if I remember correctly, it was just one day. I actually wasn't supposed to work it, but we had this other guy who actually was like basically a real hockey announcer. And like, you know, I'm from the Northeast. I've been to hockey games. Like, I understand how hockey works. Like, you know, whatever. Like, I've watched enough hockey in my life. Like, and it was like, so basically, like, my job was to like handle the sponsor reads and just like the flow of stuff. And he did like the real hockey stuff. But it got to the point where he's like, and he cuts across the ice, goes to the open net. You know, he's doing like the classic sports commentary. But then like, I'm watching kids just like deke each other out of shoes, and I'm just getting absolutely like this guy's like trying to be professional, and I'm just like, holy shit, like in his ear, like, because I'm like, I don't know what I'm watching. I watch hockey, and I'm like, I love it. So it was like, yeah, I think it was just like a twos type thing that was going on. I'm pretty sure it was twos.
That's maybe cool. That's super cool. NHL was like my favorite sports game of all time, and the fact that it's not on PC is absolutely criminal. It's like the only EA Sports game that's not on PC for no reason. I guess they can't figure out the mouse, but they do it with soccer for shooting. So it's kind of crazy they can't figure it out for PC, because I think that'd just be so fun. Like me and my friends would just love to play the ESHL. Yeah. But so you've been commentating for so many years. Which do you have like a certain esport that you really enjoy over the others, or is there some that you're just like, you know, I'll definitely do, but my heart's not in it as much, or you just love competition, you're just in it for everything?
You know, I think I'm like always like, I love like Call of Duty and Warzone. That's kind of like where I got like my bread and butter, and it'll always be, and it's just because I have so much like history and knowledge in it, and like it's the game I know the most, so like I can notice the subtle things that most people don't, that like are then really cool to me to then be able to showcase to most people. But I actually think it's like the opposite, where there are games that I actually would think that like I'm like, this isn't fun to cast, but then when I do it, I'm like, wait, this actually is really fun to cast. Like, so like the Valorant event I did, like Valorant's not a game that I play a ton. It's not a game that I watch a ton, right? But like I can study up and figure it out. But like we were casting it, and I was like, damn, this is lit. Like this is actually like stupid fun, you know? Like we do Street Fighter events, and like I don't play Street Fighter, but holy shit was that fun. Like it was dope. It's like, so it's like, I wouldn't say there's any games that like I don't like to cast. And to be honest with you, like I'm usually pretty straight up with people. They're like, hey, we want you to do this event, and it's this game. And I'll be like, actually, you know what? I just remembered something. Fall Guys. Casting Fall Guys sucks. I just remembered that. I was thinking in my head, I'm like, have I ever done an event that I'm like, if somebody asked me to do this, I would say no. And Fall Guys was one of them. I just remembered that. That game sucks. to cast.
Fall Guys.
So when people like 2 years ago were signing like Fall Guys rosters, you were not a fan of that move?
I mean, listen, if they wanted to burn their cash like that, they're more than welcome to. I mean, it's fine, it's great. Well, it was just like the problem was that like we were doing like 3 hours, and it was just like, how many crowns could you get? It'd be like hour and a half. How many crowns can you get? Okay, like top 8 people move on, and it was it was cool because it was like hot. It was the thing, but just like, dude, there's not like skill, not that much skill involved. At least the people we were watching. So it's like, oh, here he goes trying to get the jump up onto the ledge for the 16th time in a row, and he can't, and he's eliminated. This guy sucks. Going on to the next person, like that's literally like what it was. And it was just like, oh my God, like you need some good co-casters to like carry that energy, because you're just gonna want to not be there.
Totally. All right. Sorry. So I got a couple of clips for you. 2 of these I know what happens. The third one I don't really. I haven't watched it with audio yet, so I'm not actually. Right. Yeah, maybe we'll do the third one. Maybe we won't. But 2 of these are classics. And the third one, actually, hold on, let me try to pull up a different one. But no, I'm right there with you. I think, personally, when it comes to like esports casting, for me, like I've always been the least experienced person with esports on the show. We've been doing the show for 7 years now, but I always lean on the casters. Like even being like at a CDL LAN last year, like I was like right next to where the casters were, because it was just like the energy is just palpable, and that is the type of stuff that I really like latch onto, and I don't think that casters and commentators in general get enough flowers for what they do. So thank you for bringing the noise and bringing the hype, wherever you go. We really appreciate it. And it makes the experience better for the players. It makes the experience better for the fans. And, whatever you get paid. And I hope it's a good amount. You're not getting paid enough. So, and also I think what is so much different with commentary is like, not often do you see commentary folks like aligned with an org. So like there's no like real guaranteed money involved unless you have like a contract with the CDL or something like that. So it is mostly freelance, and it's not like, oh, this guy works for Optic, like he's their resident commentator. People should do like FaZe should do that. FaZe should hire somebody like you.
I agree
to do that
100%. Like it's actually kind of like I would get it if it wasn't like. So there's a couple different. I've actually seen like a shift in sort of like commentators, right? So like before, you would have these people who like they specialize in one game and one game only, right? And like that's what they do. And they're like, and then they were like, for a while it was like, I am an analyst for Rocket League, and like that's what they did. They weren't a caster, but they were an analyst. Or like that was for like Valorant, Counter-Strike, right? And then it was like, okay, well we can't hire 12 people for one event. So now we need a little bit of overlap. All right, great. Now we need commentators and people can do that. But now I'm part of this. I feel like at least me and like my contemporaries are part of this new age where it's like, I can do it all. I can be a stage host. I can do play-by-play. I can do color. I can do analysis. Totally. I can be just like, I'm a content creator myself, right? So like I get it from like the creator standpoint. And so like these orgs, I'm actually kind of like, that's kind of why like I keep doing like all of my content creation stuff. Cause I'm like, you're right. Like, someone like an Optic or FaZe or 100 Thieves who's like putting out content all the time and just need that person who can do sponsor reads and can like help keep something flowing and like keep it going through. Like you should hire a professional to do that and not ask one of your content creators to just like become that person.
Right.
Like, it kind of doesn't make sense to me.
Right. And then like, I mean, if you have a guy in house, I mean, I just think like the closest, like, I don't know, I can't even think of anybody who was like the closest person to that.
Courage JD is
Courage. Like I was going to say Courage was the first person I thought of who was like the closest to like an in-house, commentary person for 100 Thieves. He was also, he's also like probably one of the more visible faces of the organization, and obviously has a a very integrated role there. And he's the closest thing to that. And shout out to Courage for being that guy. But I think people should do that more often. I mean, you're urging your content creators to make clips. And I mean, even with like LCS, for example, I mean, the most common criticism for LCS is like no LCS players make content. They don't make videos. They don't make, they don't like have individual TikToks. They don't like, put clips up. or stream individually. It's just the game, and like so people they don't have that like that brand development that folks in LCK, for example, will have, or LPL have. But if there was let's say, I don't know, FlyQuest had an in-house commentator. Hey, here's the best plays of our scrims this week, or something like that. Or like, here's our top 5 plays of the week, like, with Dandro commentary, like, doing the commentary over it. I know for a fact that, like, I mean, you're a New England guy. I would imagine that there are certain broadcasts of certain games that you like watching and certain ones that you don't like listening to. Like, I love listening to the Celtics call on 98.5 because I happen to think that the guys that they have on the radio are phenomenal. I don't like listening to the ESPN call because I don't want to have to worry about, fucking like biased, weird commentary depending on who we're playing.
Sure.
Every time we play the Sixers, Doris Burke is so far up Joel Embiid's ass. You know what I mean? Like it's unbelievable because she's a massive Sixers honk. So yeah, I want to listen to the hometown commentary. So
Sure, yeah.
I'm calling for that now. I'm starting the petition.
Well, it's also where you get it a little bit into like I think you'll see a little bit more of that where now people are getting more and more into watch parties. I think a little bit too. So I can see that. I mean, dude, like Boston Breach, hit me up, brothers. Like
Hey.
I would 100% cast watch party like every Breach thing to like add a the thing is, dude, I would lean into it. Like I am biased. I am huffing Boston copium like every other Boston sports fan for the Breach this season, and it's just like that is what I'm doing, and I will be that guy.
I'll make a call.
About it.
I'll make a call.
There we go.
Little do you know,
Dandro and Jack Edwards just
going at it, dude.
just biased
Going at
Boston
it.
commentators.
All right,
there.
I've been trying to figure out the right way to do this, and I'm not entirely sure the right way to like make it so we're watching it at the same time. So I think I'm just gonna share my screen on Discord.
Yeah.
And we'll do it this way. Nora, thank you for the sub. We appreciate you. The resub. What's going on? Hope that you are well. We love you. All right, so can you see the screen big enough?
I think I can. Oh, you're giving me Evo moment 37?
Come on, man. Come on. All right, hold on. Wait, here's what I'm gonna do. Tiggy, wait, kill your camera. And I'm gonna turn mine off. Because I just want to make it so it's just you and this on the screen. And I'm gonna do hide video. Can I hide video non-participant? Yeah. There we go. Boom. All right, hold on, wait. I gotta fix it on the stream. Don't mind me. Just give me a second, bear with me, it's gonna be worth it. Oh my god. I wish I could figure out how to do this like normally in Discord like a normal human being, but this is the best that I have. There's more to this. There's more to this, but we're gonna get there. All right. Here we go. Right. Is this gonna show? Let's see. Is it gonna show up?
I don't see it on stream.
Shit. Oh wait. Maybe I have to click on the. Can I not fucking?
Oh, there you go. Oh, you had it for a little bit.
Oh, I have to click on this. Okay. All right, wait. I'm gonna pause it. I'm gonna rewind it. Here we go. This is Dandro casting Evo moment 37. Here we go.
All right, everybody, welcome back to Evo 2004. We have an electric matchup coming for you here. It is, of course, the beast from the east, Daigo, taking on Justin Wong, coming in for the Ken. He's coming in, couple good shots, gets the Hadoken, wanting to keep him into the corner. The Chun-Li can't do anything. Absolutely, gets the reverse, coming on the back, nice little flip. On the backside, super, it's ready to come on through, though. Just kind of parrying. Little jab checks, and oh, here we go, the super! What is the parry? The parry from Daigo! He keeps it going, and he's able to do it! Daigo's able to do it! Evo 2004!
That's unbelievable.
That was incredible.
Unbelievable. Unreal. All right. That was beautiful. That was beautiful. It was easily, I mean, I don't even know how we go anywhere from there. I kind of want us to stop it there, but this is another classic. This is another classic for you. I give you, ladies and gentlemen, I give you Dandro commentating over Mom, Get the Camera.
Double akimbos going for the clip. Here comes the throwing knife. Swap is taken out, but He gets the knife. Cross map. What has just happened? Oh my gosh, the 360. Look at it. It's gonna come up top. He's trying to play there. See you later, nerd. You can't stop Swap as he's able to end it. 17 and 29 for Swap. Need to get that KD up, but hey, when you win it with the thing like that, it's hard to be angry.
Beautiful. All right, and then last but not least, this was a viewer. This it's not this clip. There was a viewer requested one. This was can Dandro provide commentary over professional cricket?
Okay, I still don't know what the fuck goes on in cricket.
I don't either. So your guess is as good as mine.
Right.
But here we go. Ready? This is.
Do we know who the two teams are? Like, can you tell me like what the
It's
team
between
names are?
Pakistan and Australia. This is
Okay,
from
which one is
2018. My assumption is that the person swinging the bat, if that's what it's called, is Pakistan, because it's
Okay.
been posted by the Pakistan account.
Okay, so yellow is Pakistan. That's all.
Yes.
Oh, yellow is Australia. Someone said yellow's Australia.
Okay, yellow's
Green
Australia.
is Pakistan.
Okay. So green is Pakistan, yellow is Australia. Got it. Okay. Let me rewind this here. It's like a YouTube short, so I gotta.
Yeah, that's fine.
Okay.
All right.
Just-
So
I-
yellow is Australia. Okay.
All right. I'm gonna click volume here. All right, here you go.
Pakistan going for the hit. Australia hits it deep. This ball is going. It's not gonna stop. Hits the roof, and it's being ruled in.
Wow.
Australia feeling great about that one. Here we go. Another try. It goes a little bit wide. Can Pakistan be able to keep this in? They do get the catch. I don't know if that's good or bad. They go for another one. Up into the sky. Australia sending it to the moon. Call him Neil Armstrong. But guess what? With the bare hands. How does he do it? They're still hitting. How many people do they get to hit? Isn't this like baseball? Too many people are swinging. I don't know what's going on. He's calming him down. I like this. I like the composure out of Pakistan, but it's not enough. Australia, they're sending it deep, buddy.
Just the formality.
Oh, I have no idea what goes on in cricket, dude.
Thank you so much. That was,
Like, you get a home run, you're good. You're done.
dude. I don't know. Yeah, your guess is as good as mine. That was absolutely electrifying, and yeah, I don't know. I mean, like I said, your guess is as good as mine. But yeah, give it up for give it up for him. I mean, the kid's a pro for a reason. The kid is a pro for a reason. So if you needed anything more than that, Boston Breach, looking at you. Clearly, the man can provide commentary over absolutely anything. So,
Me and I have a friend who's a commentator, and we wanted to start this TikTok series where we went to reddit.com/r/theocho, which is like the random sports clips
my
of
God.
like the dumbest sports you can find, and we just wanted to essentially do like MXC level commentary over the Ocho clips, because you're getting like wheelchair soccer, like National Olympics, and we're like, this would be so funny to do.
that would be fucking hilarious. That would be absolutely hysterical. All right, so we have gone through the gamut. We put you through the gauntlet of commentary here, and absolutely electrifying. I can't wait to watch the Evo moment 37 clip back. And I mean, the mom get the camera commentary. You don't have a whole lot of film to work with, so I mean, you really juiced it for all it was worth. So I appreciate
I
the
tried.
effort there. So the what was I going to say? You guys were talking a little bit about different things to provide commentary over. Fall Guys being one that is kind of impossible to make, particularly interesting. We did have we've had a recurring guest on the show, Somebody's Gun, who's a big competitive Fortnite guy.
Yep.
He's also organizing the Pro Fortnite Awards. And he was kind of talking a little bit about the history behind Fortnite esports and kind of where it's going now. Just because it's been at the top of people's minds, and also they just announced that Blast Premier partnership for the Fortnite Championship Series. What are your thoughts on kind of like where Pro Fortnite is at right now? I mean, do you feel like it's something that's I feel like it's not talked about as much nearly as the the core game. But they've got ranked in there now. I mean, is the competitive scene growing? Do you think, or what do you see out there?
I think Fortnite has a little bit of like suffering from success, where like that first Fortnite World Cup, right, was like almost the pinnacle of battle royale esports, right? It was literally the peak of the Fortnite wave. Was Booga winning that?
Oh, dude.
So the thing that I think in the back of my head a lot is like, it's really like that was just everything lined up, right, to create this insane moment and hype in esports. And since then, right, Fortnite's kind of, it's always been good, right? Like Fortnite's never been, everyone's like Fortnite dying is what most games wish they could be, right? Like right. Yeah. And so it's like that's what I think about. It's like for people in like the last couple of years are like, what is Fortnite Battle Royale esports? And I'm like, dude, I wish Warzone could be Fortnite Battle Royale esports.
Yeah.
Like Apex has been trying their ass off to try to get to Fortnite level like esports. So I think it was just that was the problem. Now, obviously, there's like things with the game that are on top of it that are a little tough. The other thing I think Fortnite does suffer a little bit from, it's a bit of a hard game to watch, right?
Yeah.
Like the easier the game is to watch, the more accessible it is. That's why like you can show somebody who has nothing to do with. I actually talked about this with friends a lot, but like you can talk like if I think about the greatest games for esports, or like if I had to give somebody a list of like games, like if you were like, I'm gonna start watching esports, what do I watch? I'd be like, number one is Street Fighter, because it's just like.
It's two people.
This guy has more high health than this guy.
Yep.
The guy with less health beat the guy with more health.
Yep. That's
exciting. Like it's easy to understand. Counter-Strike, easy to understand, right? It's like very like, okay, cool. There's a lot in Fortnite that you have to understand. But with that being said, I do think them moving to more, I mean, obviously like partnering with Blast, who like has all this experience in Counter-Strike and running LAN events, is really good, because if they can start running, I mean, Epic prints money, so like they can run these LAN events. If they run these LAN events and they're good and they're engaging and we're able to create the storylines of pro players, I think that's what's been missing for a while, right? Because hey, we've had cash cups, you have the in-game stuff, which is cool, but like you never hear about like a big Fortnite event going on, right? Like it's not like Counter-Strike where I'm like, oh yeah, this thing's going on, let me tune into the finals, because I like watching Counter-Strike, and these are like the two best teams at this moment in time. Like you don't feel that with Fortnite. And I think that would be cool. Like if I knew there was a big event going on, it's LAN, there's however 100 people, right? All in setups, all playing on LAN. I think that generates a lot of hype and a lot of energy, and then just provides more storylines, right? Because then it's like, oh, I'm just throwing out random places, but like at Fortnite Katowice, right? Like Mongrel went huge and won the last game, right? And then like when they're at Fortnite Raleigh or whatever, like they're going to be talking about that, and that's just like way easier to talk about. So I think that's super dope. Blast obviously like has the experience in their back pocket to run an event like that and run a good event like that. So I think you compare like that level of quality with Epic Money, who's like going to be willing to spend the cash and to make sure a broadcast is top tier. Then I think it's going to be like really good, like really good.
No, I'm right there with you. I mean, it sounds like, and I'm glad that it looks this way from inside and outside, because from like an outside looking in, it's like, man, why don't I hear about Fortnite esports more? And you're right. I mean, it's impossible to follow. I mean, what are you going to follow 100 screens at the same time and kind of just like see what happens? Or like, I don't know. How do you even designate who? I should have asked SBG when he was on here a couple weeks ago, but how do you even like know who to follow? Do you just like randomly skip around? And I mean, that also makes like commentary's job so difficult, because it's like, all right, this guy's looting and he's looting and he's looting, and
there's a cool clip. I know some of the people who worked. There's a group called Practice Server, which does a lot of the production stuff for like the big Fortnite events. And they had a really cool clip where it was like a really hectic end game where they actually showed he records all of it, and he showed a clip of like him doing the directing for like, all right, hey, you just get over here like on this shot, like, and then it's like him directing all of these shots. It's a lot of like eye in the sky for what it's worth, which is easy. So it's like, oh, there are like 4 teams in this area. Let's like do an eye in the sky shot and like get an idea of like what's going on. But you're totally right. Like it's sometimes really hard in Battle Royale specifically, the more players there are too, of like, how do you create, like my number one job is how do I create storylines to like make you as the viewer invested each map to map. And it's hard to do that when exactly that. You're like, they landed Loot Lake. And now they're like cracking open chests. And then it's like 20 minutes go by and it's like, and now they're rotating.
Yeah, right.
Cool.
Yeah, they're okay. They are not in the storm anymore.
Yeah, literally. It's like, and then you just get to that point where there's like 60 people left at zone 8, and you're just like,
Yeah,
what
yeah,
are
yeah.
we doing?
Yeah. What do you think is, because I'm a big storyline guy and I've been saying this since day one. What do you think is one of the best or some of the best storylines in esports to follow right now?
Right now, okay, so currently, right now, so I'm gonna go with what I know. I think in COD specifically, there are some cool storylines to follow, right? I think, just COD in general has some cool things, like the whole like optic storyline of like, can they do well or something? But I love the Miami Heretics storyline.
Okay.
Like that's like super cool. I think that like because like the thing is there's a lot of people who are fans from like Modern Warfare 2019 season of CDL, right? Who have no idea who the Heretics are. And then you have these like they're like, who are these 4 random guys that are coming in and slamming everyone?
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
And then there's like those of us who are like, oh no, I remember the Black Ops 4 Heretics who were slamming everyone.
Yeah,
like
yeah.
this is not a surprise to me, right? And so that's like one of them. I actually really like the Miami Heretics for like that reason alone.
Okay.
I think they were heavily undervalued, heavily underrated. They're a non-North American like team, which is like huge, right? They're a European team. The Royal Ravens and Paris Legion have sucked since the inception of the CDL. So to have like a non-North American team like start doing really good is exciting. Outside of that, specifically for me in Warzone, I think the trio of Shifty, Biffle and Sage, who won the World Series of Warzone, they're really cool. They each have really cool stories when it comes down to it. So they're like the first like pinnacle of Warzone, and so I'll be curious to see like can they continue it. They've all found a lot of success since then.
Yeah.
Which is really cool. And on the flip side of that, there's a little bit of stuff around when I look at things like even like Rocket League, for example. Like Rocket League just had like M80 just dropped all of their people and just picked up like 3 brand new players.
Yep.
And like that's what they did. And they're like 3 really good players who are kind of coming out of nowhere. So there's like a couple, those are a couple of the storylines that like I think are gonna be really cool to watch for me over the year.
That's cool. All right. I like that. I'll be definitely paying attention to that. And yeah, that's me too. Like, I mean, I love a good storyline. I love a story, just that sports is the human condition is the big part of it. I mean, nobody's really like watching it to see like who has the more technical handle on a curveball. Like you're watching it because it's like the pitchers, these pitchers fucking hate each other, or like this, or like this, this batter and this pitcher can't fucking stand each other. Like that's the more interpersonal part of it is why we watch sports, because there's an emotional connection to it. And one of my favorite sports quotes of all time is the point of sports is not, this is actually tweeted after the Celtics got bounced from the finals last year. It's like the point of sports is not to like collectively root on the same team with other people, and the point of sports is to be sad in a group. Which is a very nihilistic way of looking at sports, but it's, I mean, kind of the point. I was at a bar when like the Patriots lost to like Brock Osweiler in like the wild card game that one year, and I've never been more sad in a bigger group, or more sad. They had like confetti and shit because we thought it was gonna be like a sure thing, and dude, the whole bar was like still covered in like red, white, and blue confetti because they were like, we're just gonna launch this confetti anyway because we thought the Pats were gonna win. So, and we spent like $100,000 on confetti. So there you go.
Jesus.
Yeah, that was the saddest. It was like the Lieutenant Dan New Year's Eve meme. Like that was me. Except with way more like PBR and Jameson in my system. But all right, so we didn't get to any of the topics that we were going to talk about tonight because we were too busy commentating over Evo Moment 34, which is fine. I'm totally there with that. Tiggy, why don't you cherry pick one of the topics that we have, and we can run with that, because I know that we had a few. I know that you had one as well. Is there anything out of that you find particularly interesting or you want to talk about?
I mean, I think we should talk a little about the finals. I think that's kind of very pertinent on the whole esports question mark with the finals. I thought the trailer was cool. I haven't played it yet. I watch it at nights when I fall asleep. I think it's Gigs I know he was on 100T for. I think he used to be like a Destiny guy or
He's a
something like
Destiny 2 PvPer.
Yeah, so I used to watch him all the time play. I think it was Trials, and then so I just watch him as I fall asleep. I don't know what the hell's going on in the game, but it looks interesting. But I don't actually know what's going on.
It's made so the finals is made by a bunch of ex Battlefield developers.
Yeah.
So it has a lot of the same like destructible environment stuff, right? And basically, one of my friends actually tweeted this, which is why I had sent it to Dom, like if we wanted to talk about it, because it was basically one of my friends who's a caster had reached out to Embark, who is the creators of the finals, basically being like, "Hey, do you have any plans for esports?
Yeah.
You know, what are you doing for?" Because if you're not aware, the finals is also like canonically like in the universe of that game. It's like these people are like in a competition in Las Vegas. It's like they're in an esports competition.
Yeah, that's like
in
the
Vegas.
lore of the game. Yeah.
Yeah. So they basically came back to him and said, like,
No.
currently we do not have a lot to share on the topic of esports. We do not currently offer the possibility of custom game / lobbies, or for example, of a spectator role. This is something we might change in the future, and should it, we would be in a better place to discuss these things then. So basically, it's like in the short-term roadmap, the finals have no plans for doing anything esportsy, which I think personally, and I am incredibly biased on this topic as somebody who would love to cast the finals and think I could do a pretty damn good job at it. This is stupid.
Yeah.
Like this game, you have so many of the top FPS creators, Shroud, Timmy, so many of like the huge FPS creators right now are playing the finals. So to not have even just like creator showcase matches that you want to run, and by the way, the entire point of this game is that it is competitive. Like there's a ranked mode, like ranked is kind of the default mode. So similar to Counter-Strike or League or these other things, like there's a default ranked mode of the finals that like people like playing.
Yeah.
And so to then not have like a top tier like esport for it, or even just an ability to showcase it, feels really silly to me. And I feel like I've seen this more and more where you have these like banger sort of like indie games that then don't think about a spectator custom lobby feature. And then it's like, we're now in this point. But even then, coming from Warzone, I'm like, okay, cool. Let's just run kill races in the finals and we'll call it good.
Yeah.
Like, we can do that.
Yeah.
That's easy.
It's gonna be like a fine, I'll do it myself type of thing. Like we'll just like whatever. Like when Nintendo didn't want to do anything with esports, people were just like, we'll figure it out. We'll make an esport out of this.
Someone will. Someone is going to, who's really passionate, say, we'll run finals, kill races. I mean, listen, how do we do COD launch night tournaments? Queue up into the lobbies until you get the other team.
Yep.
Figure it out.
That's right. That's right.
Finals could probably do the same, where it's like, we're gonna queue until we get each other. Cool. All right, let's go.
Yeah. Or you could do like split parties. I forget what they call it in Warzone, but like it's like 2 members of one team on one team with one others, and you do the kill race that way, but you're still counting your individual kill counter and doing the math after. You could do it that way too, where it's like you don't even have to be in the same game, but you have people watching and stuff. So
yeah, it almost feels like, I don't know, like the finals is that like you said, all like the top like FPS streamers were rallying around this game.
Yeah.
And we're playing it nonstop, and still are playing it nonstop. But then they're gonna be like, yeah, there's no esports component. There's no, like, we're not gonna have like a real competitive support.
Yeah.
So it's like, wait, what?
I mean, I hope. I mean, even like, I know like Twitch Rivals teased that they were like might do something for it too. So I'm curious. Well, like, what is that?
There's got to be
like?
more to that.
I that's what I'm assuming. I'm assuming that it's basically like a generic like PR, like, no, we're not doing anything sports wise. But at the very least, I mean, to me, I think you gotta host something as a tournament. Like that's what I feel like some of these games that like are inherently competitive. If you're not hosting tournaments for your game, then like listen, dude, I've gotten paid a lot of money to run tournaments for games that should not have had tournaments run for them. But like,
looking at you,
it still
Fall Guys.
generated hype. Look at Fall.
Yeah,
no, I actually did. I did the launch tournament for. Did you guys ever hear the game Back for Blood?
Yeah. Oh yeah.
Yeah. So it was like made by like a bunch of the OG like Left 4 Dead developers.
Deep Silver. Yeah.
They like. Yeah, we did a like a launch. It was like in conjunction with Facebook Gaming. We did the launch event for Back for Blood, but like, it wasn't. We shouldn't have. Like whoever decided that should have been a thing, probably should have been like, we're going to invest our dollars somewhere else.
Whoever approved that budget is probably no longer working for Deep Silver.
Well,
but
I don't think Turtle Rock exists anymore.
Or yeah, that one. That not Deep Silver, yeah, the other one. But yeah, I mean, listen, there's been some questionable decisions in gaming and esports, which has led to some questionable personnel decisions, over the last year. Hopefully we leave that in 2023 and we have more intelligent, community-driven, fact and data-based business decisions so that the industry doesn't continue to just go down the shitter this year. But having said all that, yeah, I think it's insanely weird that the finals, which is seems everything on paper seems like it would be built as a game that is built for people to watch and spectate and stuff like that.
Yeah.
That there is a fucking commentator in the game.
I'm just this is the marketing brain to me, as I was if you have the money, now obviously money is a big thing, but if you could get the money and funding for it, imagine if okay, so the game is set in Vegas. What's the esports capital of the US? Vegas. It's not hard. It's cheap. That's why so many things go there. Fly in a bunch of creators to Vegas, and you're now doing the finals
In
as
real
a
life.
thing in
Yeah.
Vegas. Hire some commentators who are super over the top, like the ones in game, right? They'll dress up in suits, make it just gaudy, just
Yeah.
over the top everything, right? And that's the biggest PR for your game
Yeah.
possible.
And
It'd
isn't
be
it
so-
Nexon? Isn't it Nexon that owns them? They
I
also
think so.
just shit money out left and
Yeah.
right. So why can't we do this?
Hire
yeah,
me.
they
Hire me
gotta-
for your marketing
yeah.
needs.
Now available for all your marketing needs, Dandro. All right, let's listen to some voicemails. 617-701-7678, the WGG Internet Dad Sauce Line. Leave us a voicemail, and we will listen and react to it live on the show, as long as it doesn't get us TOS'd. First caller, what do you got?
Tiggy, you're far away degenerate, and you guys are looking fantastic. We got Papa Tom, Tiggy, and who is that? Is that the living legend, Dandro? Anyways, just got a quick hypothetical here, since we have just the caster extraordinaire in the building. If you could cast any one player or any one team of all time, past, present, future, which would you want to cast? Or who would you want to cast? Or maybe you want to cast a certain event. I don't know. Dealer's choice. Love you guys. Keep it over.
Thank you, Tiggy, for the voicemail. Appreciate that.
That's actually a really good question. My immediate thought is the Optic Dynasty is initially number one, but I also would have loved to do some there were some really early Dota 2 teams that were super cool that I feel would be amazing. I feel like I've always said if I had a genie came to me and said you get to cast anything, I would say the Dota 2 internationals, because it's just insane. That is just such a big thing. The energy there, you get to talk about it. So I think that would probably be it. If I could cast one event, I'm probably picking the Dota 2 international.
Hell yeah.
I think is what I'm doing.
Yeah, that's a good choice. I immediately was thinking straight Optic Dynasty, and I think why it's so easy to gravitate towards them is so many stories are already in place for that team. They're so
Exactly.
good on content. I mean, if you watched Hex's vlogs every morning, you literally were a part of the fucking team. You saw them grow up, you saw their lives develop. So, I mean, just so much material. I think it'd be really cool to, Buddy Zamp in the chat mentioned earlier how older League of Legends LCS teams used to do more content. And I wasn't around. I didn't really follow League of Legends at all. I didn't PC games, so I think it'd be cool to do one of those. What was it? TSM, TSM, just TSM or something like that, with just so much
Sure.
history and character and just so many personalities.
Yeah.
In
Or
those
early,
games, I
early
think would be fucking
Dignitas
sick.
would have been
Yeah.
sick with
Yeah.
Shifter and I'm a Cutie Pie and
Yep.
Skara. That would have been a great team to do as well.
Yeah,
Absolutely.
I think that just would have been sick.
All right, next voicemail. Here we go. What do you got?
Hey guys, I am sorry I could not attend the show as I have been sick for a week and have lost my voice. Also, please do not check Jeffrey Epstein's flight lists, not for any particular reason or anything. I just heard it is real boring stuff. Anyway, Coleman, we will do Zalt and Bob's Guess My Game next week. Love you, pal.
Thank you, Bob. Appreciate that voicemail. Bob, who has a very bad vocal cord thing going on right now. Appreciate you leaving a voicemail. using your text to speech generator. That was truly an experience. All right, last voicemail. Here we go. What do you got?
Hey boys, Coleman here. Bob, I know third time is a charm. Thank you for doing Guess My Game. Sorry you got sick, and sorry, but anyway, I'm already off to a good start with the new year. Got Resident Evil 4 Remake complete. That is a fantastic game. My question for you guys this week, after the holiday season ends, do you guys have any post-holiday season rituals that you do to kind of reset, get yourself back out of that holiday mode and get you back into the grind set, as the youngins would say? All right, love you guys. Have a good week. Catch you again.
You could tell that you could tell it's not the holiday season anymore because Coleman. It's one of his busiest, probably the busiest time of the year for him, and you can just hear the like vitality in his voice that is coming back. Skydros, thank you for the resub, brother. Appreciate you. He just sounds so much more lively than he has in the last couple weeks, and he's this poor kid has been waiting for Guess My Game for fucking like a month now. We'll get you back on, Dandro, for Guess My Game. I don't know how deep your video game knowledge is, but we usually do like 20 questions basically, and see if we can guess the game. So if we end up doing it, you come back on. We do it once in a while, yeah. What is your go-to thing to kind of get out of the holiday funk, like shake the vacation cobwebs off? I'm gonna refill my water real quick. I'll be right back, but I'm listening to you guys. So Tiggy, start with you.
So it's funny enough. So I just got back from traveling. I'm gonna reveal. I have a suitcase there. I have a book bag still there. I got a package that I haven't opened yet. My jacket. Inside my closet, I have a half-open suitcase as well that I stuffed in there because I was too embarrassed to show it. So I might be the worst person to ask because I am still in the holiday funk. I was talking with a buddy, JT from the Juice Box, friends of the program. He said that I think he heard from someone that the first week of January isn't actually the new year. It starts the second week of January. You get one extra week. The second week is going to be the start. So that's how I get out of the funk, is I just ignore it and push it off till the next week. Like, we all should.
Well, I feel like for me, I always like to take the week between Christmas and New Year's and just do literally nothing. I literally like go out of my way to do I don't feel bad about it. I eat like absolute garbage. I don't care what, whatever. I have zero care for my body and how I'm taking care of it for that week, right? And I do that, and then probably, I feel like trying to start like either January 1st or January 2nd, like you're just kind of a tryhard.
Yeah.
And you're kind of setting yourself up for failure.
Totally.
So I agree that like, I feel like give yourself the week, because then like, you can kind of prep, you clean your house, clean your apartment, do what you got to do. Just like clean, like you can spend the week getting back into your routine, but also like preparing the mind for the mindset.
Yeah.
Like, whatever you're trying to tackle in the new year.
I totally agree with you.
I think the second week of January is like actually the start of the new year, and not the January 2nd when you're trying to be a tryhard.
No, I totally agree with you. I'm right there with you. The last time I like even worked out was like 2 weeks ago. About this Sunday will be 3 weeks. So I got to go for a run. That's how I'm gonna shake the cobwebs off. So Sunday, so a couple days from now will be Sunday. That'll be 3 weeks. Ran a 5K the week before Christmas, and or a couple days before Christmas, and that was my last like exercise before the holidays. And then I just fucking checked out and just obliterated my body for 3 straight weeks. So the abuse has to come to it, has to stop. But one of my buddies actually just moved in pretty close by, so we're gonna run together on Monday. So I'll use that to get some motivation in, and he actually texted me earlier and he was like, "Yo, like I'm all settled in, like let's go for a run soon." And I'm like, "Dude, great, let's do it." There's gonna be like a foot of snow on the ground, but it's probably gonna be all salted and plowed, so we can probably run on Monday, and I'll have somebody there to like hold me accountable, and so that'll be good. But I'd say just kind of getting back into a regular routine. Like I tend to clean like my office, like I'll clean my desk off. I try not to let shit accumulate anyway, but like I gotta like reorganize my shelves in my office, and just kind of like stuff accumulates there, like even just like knickknacks and like old games and stuff like that, and like maybe Christmas presents that file in there. all kinds of stuff that I gotta just like reorganize a little bit. Take this guy for a walk a few more times before it gets too cold out where he doesn't want to walk. And that'll be good. So, but I think the real big one is like de-Christmasing. We take down all the Christmas decorations and stuff. Like that is like the big boot in the ass to be like, all right, it's the new year now. Time to be miserable in New England when everything is like mud and snow on the ground for the next fucking 3 months. And that always helps to kind of refresh the perspective. But thank you all for the voicemail. 617-701-7678 if you want to leave one and have us react to it live on the show next week. Let's land the motherfucking train. So in this segment, Land the Train, Dandro, we just kind of like shout out whoever you want to shout out, plug all your stuff, let everybody know where to find you. And then we kind of just we ride off into the sunset. So the red carpet is yours. Tell everybody where they can find you all over the internet. And if you have anybody you want to shout out, the floor is yours.
Yeah, I mean, if you guys want, I'm on Twitter, X, whatever you want to call it these days, at DandroCast, Twitch at DandroCast, Instagram, TikTok, YouTube, literally everywhere at DandroCast. Come, mainly if you're gonna only pick a couple of them, Twitch and Twitter are the big ones. If you want to see pictures of my cat and food I make, Instagram's a good place.
You lost me a cat. You got me back at food. So I'll take a look at that.
My cat, to be fair, is like 25 pounds and his name is Bagheera. So he's just like this big sack of shit. So he is big and floofy. That's why I will give him that. And he's pretty big idiot. So, if you want to come follow me there, you can. As far as shout outs go, I'm going to shout out you guys for asking me to be on here very last second. I appreciate it. It's always a fun time being able to talk my caster story and what I got going on. I'm going to absolutely steal all of the clips of me casting for my own social media. So thank 100%. You for that.
You got that.
And I appreciate it. That's really all I got.
Absolutely. Take it. What do you got?
That was awesome. Dandro, it's been incredible having you on. Just hearing the stories and like the history of how you came up and stuff. It's so awesome. You're so positive. And I mean, you just grab so much energy. Like I'm hyped up just from talking to you. So it's infectious and I love that.
I can't wait to scream at all my coworkers tomorrow just because I'm just fired up.
Yeah. What do we got? So LCK is doing their roll tournament the 9th, day before the split ends. Well, the split's ending that day. So it's like all middle laners are going to be on a team. So it's going to be fucking sick to see like Faker teamed up with Chovy and stuff like that. It's going to be funny. So that'll be really cool. That's coming up next week. And then, just want to pray for the enemy bot lane because I'm going to absolutely put him in the fucking blender coming up. Silver Surfer Tiggy next week. Guarantee it. Next Thursday, you'll be hearing.
Print the shirts. Thoughts and prayers for anybody in Bronze Queue this weekend. Just hold on to your butts. Call your loved ones. Say your final goodbyes because Tiggy's coming for that ass. And one of these days, I just expect you to show up on camera, just drenched in like silver spray paint, riding a surfboard on there because I mean, it might happen. But big shout, Dandro. Thank you for jumping on, especially short notice, and especially after casting already for like 90 hours today. You just kind of rode the wave. You jumped right in. We appreciate you. Thank you so much for jumping on. Come on back. Now that you've been on once, you're officially a friend of the program, so you can come back on whenever you want. You officially have an open invite. So just hit me up, and we'll get you back on for sure. We can talk more games, talk more casting stories. And, for any orgs that are out there, Boston Breach or Oxygen Esports, I'm just saying, what more evidence do you need? Do you need more proof than this? Maybe we see you in Foxborough. Maybe we see maybe we see me in Foxborough. Maybe we see you at
Major One.
Major One. I'll be at Major One, so maybe I'll see you there.
Yeah, you probably will.
Maybe we'll just yell at each other in person. Maybe we'll go.
Give us a station off to the side.
Yeah.
This is just two dudes from Boston yelling about God.
Just screaming. Yeah, we'll go across the street to Lansdowne, have 28 Budweisers, and then go back across the street to MGM, and hilarity will ensue.
Can't go wrong.
No, 100%. You can. But this has been episode 370 of Not Another Gaming Podcast. Check us out everywhere you find your fine podcasts. Apple Podcasts, Spotify, any other obscure podcasting app that for some reason you're using in the year of our Lord 2024. Make sure you follow us there. It's Wicked Good Gaming on every social media platform except for Twitter because the character length is one off, so it's just Wicked Good Games. Thank you so much to everybody who was active in the chat, everybody who resubbed, everybody who gifted subs. Episode 370. Dandro, we appreciate you. Tiggy, thank you. Bob, I hope that you have some hauls and some Ricolas, and maybe we'll see you. Maybe we'll see you for 371. But for everybody else, we love you so much, and we'll see you next week.
Fight.